Have you ever reached a point where you needed a fresh start? Josh Giddey will have one, as the Thunder a few months ago traded him to the Bulls in a swap for Alex Caruso. That trade could be a blessing in disguise for Giddey, as the soon-to-be 22-year-old is entering a contract year and is going to a situation where he can showcase what he does best. I'm going to take a deeper dive into Giddey's game to show what he should be able to bring to the Bulls this upcoming season and possibly beyond. Entering the NBA, Giddey's biggest strengths were his passing and court vision at 6'8", though one of the biggest questions was his outside shooting. While he has made growth in that regard, he still struggles, and that was apparent in the Thunder's playoff series versus the Mavericks. With Shai Gilgeous-Alexander emerging as an MVP candidate and Jalen Williams' growth, the on-ball opportunities weren't going to be there for Giddey. Unfortunately, in the Mavericks series, he got cold from three at the absolute worst time. So when on the floor in the playoffs, Giddey was spending most of his time on the perimeter being dared to shoot, which takes away from his strengths. Giddey is at his best when he's getting downhill and can create for himself and others. He displays very nice anticipation finding cutters, and is also able to use his length to his advantage when finishing around the basket. One area where Giddey can display both of these abilities is pick and roll, where this past season he ranked in the 75th percentile in the action including passes. The Bulls led the NBA in the percentage of their possessions out of pick and roll, so Giddey should have plenty of opportunities to utilize his skills. On top of this, the Bulls have some dangerous shooters off the catch in Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu, and Zach LaVine, assuming he returns. So Giddey with the chance to get downhill should create open looks for them consistently. Here, Giddey has high pick and roll, where the Thunder are incorporating some of their guard-to-guard screening. Though as Giddey starts getting downhill, watch his teammate get open at the top of the key. While Giddey has multiple defenders surrounding him in the paint, he looks to the top of the key, but is manipulating the defense while doing so. Now look in the right corner. He has another teammate who is open, but the Hornets react to defend the top of the key. Giddey notices this, and the result is a wide open three. Another thing Giddey can do is get into pick and roll quickly. This could add a spark to a Bulls team that ranked 28th in pace last year. This possession, Lou Dort gets the rebound and passes it to Giddey. By the time Giddey gets the ball, Chet Holmgren's ready to set a screen 5 seconds into the shot clock. Now look what happens as Giddey takes a few dribbles inside the arc. He has 3 defenders completely focused on him, and you can see Dort already starting to cut from the right wing. Giddey anticipates this, and it leads to a wide-open layup. Giddey's a threat to score out of pick and roll, where he can utilize his size around the rim and has shown he can consistently hit runners and floaters. Though the Bulls could also allow Giddey to incorporate these skills on handoffs, where he excelled this past season on a small sample size. The Bulls were last in the NBA in the percentage of their possessions that came out of handoffs. Giddey can change that. In this instance, the Thunder again get into their offense quickly, though by the time Giddey gets the ball back, look at the advantage he already has here. Derek White's still working through a screen as Giddey already has a head of steam going downhill. White gets back into the play, but Giddey shows nice touch finishing the layup over a very good shot blocker. From a defensive perspective, Giddey has room to grow. Per Basketball Reference, the Thunder's defense was 3.5 points better per 100 possessions when he was off the floor last year. Then in the popular metric EPM, he ranked in the 34th percentile defensively. While there are times Giddey's foot speed can lead to opponents blowing by him, there were instances where he had some questionable rotations as well. This example from the playoffs had Luka Doncic getting downhill in pick and roll. Not surprisingly, he draws a ton of attention in the paint. Though Doncic kicks it out to Derek Jones in the corner, and we see our first error. Giddey rotates to defend him, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is already in the middle of doing that. Jones isn't the caliber of shooter you'd have 2 players closing out on. Though Giddey doing this leaves Josh Green wide open at the top of the key. Jones notices, and by the time Giddey rotates to Green, he has a head of steam, and Giddey isn't in position to slow Green down, which leads to a wide open layup. Though on the surface, Giddey has the makings of a serviceable team defender. He has flashes where he can make savvy rotations to jump passing lanes and can use his timing to block shots. With his size, Giddey also held his own on occasion when asked to defend post-ups. Still 21, there are some skills to work with as he looks to grow on this end of the floor. So what's Giddey's ceiling as a player? Surrounded by shooting with the chance to get downhill frequently, he could be a very valuable threat offensively. If he continues to improve as a 3-point shooter, that would be an even bigger boost, as the threat of him attacking closeouts opens up more ways to create for himself and others. The good news is, this year the Bulls have the opportunity to give Giddey these reps to grow, and he has the ability to build off what the team emphasized offensively last season, while also adding a new dimension. If you got this far, thank you, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay up to date on my latest basketball analysis.